Justin Trudeau has come out and said, we're going to lower immigration, all the way down to 365,000 people over the next 3 years, which of course is still more than they took in pre-COVID. And then they put it up to like 2 million in 2 years. Now we're going to dial it back slowly to, only almost double what it used to be. And you should be happy. But he's doing more moves. He's making more $1 million moves, as they say, in desperation about trying not to lose the next election. So he made an announcement of temporary tax relief between December and February. The past few years have been challenging. It feels like the price of everything has gone up, and while inflation is cooling and interest rates are dropping, we know that Canadians aren't feeling that in their household budgets just yet. So what they told you before was everything's awesome, and it's not unaffordable. Actually, our economy is doing quite well. This is what they've said all along. And they say it feels like the price of everything has gone up. And while we're still doing a good job, even though the inflation and the prices are all our fault, even though we're doing such a great job, we know you aren't feeling it. Why would we not be feeling it? Tell me that. Our government can't set prices at the checkout, but we can give Canadians more money in their pocket to help them afford the things they need and save for the things they want. Which, of course, we'll get to in a second. That doesn't make any sense. Starting December 14th, we're giving a tax break to all Canadians. With GST and HST exemption across the country, Canadians will be able to buy essentials like groceries, snacks, and kids' clothing, all tax-free. So this tax break will apply to prepared foods, including vegetable trays, prepaid meals, and salads and sandwiches, restaurant meals, whether dine-in, takeout, snacks, including chips, candy, granola bar, beer, wine, cider, alcohol, children's clothing, footwear, cars and seats and diapers, children's toys, games, video game consoles, books, print newspapers, and puzzles for all ages, and Christmas trees. So, working Canadians will also get some cash back with a new Working Canadians rebate. Canadians who worked in 2023 and earned up to $150,000 will see a $250 check. So, all this means is that we've taken, and we've talked about this before, we've taken so much money from you, and now that you're complaining, we can afford to give it back. That's what they're saying. So the HST, for those of you who don't know, is called Harmonized Sales Tax. And what it was meant to do was put a different tax on things like food so that you didn't pay the other taxes. So it was a tax meant to save you taxes, right? And now they're saying, actually, our tax isn't saving you money, so we're going to take it away, but only for a little bit. We're going to take away taxes for 2 months and give you $250. And what is it they said here? Our government can't set prices at the checkout, but we can give Canadians more money in their pockets. And why this is insane is because they could just not take the money from your pockets in the first place. If the HST isn't required, take it away completely. If the GST isn't required on these things and you think it'll save money, just take it away completely. Why do we need to have this tax at all if you admit that not having this tax will save us money? They're saying, let us take this money from you, and when we feel like it, we will give it back to you. $250. So, assumedly, if $250 back to, however many Canadians making under, this will give 18.7 million Canadians, it says, that extra help. So, if, basically half the country, you can give $250 to them, which we will calculate for you in a second. That means you can afford to not take it in the first place. Or, and this isn't better, if you can't afford to give away $250 to 18 million people, then they're just putting us in further debt to make it worse along the line. Either you can afford to give it back to us, and so don't take it from us in the first place, or you can't afford to give it back to us, and you're giving it to us and putting us further in debt, which will screw us over in the long run. Either way, it's insanity at work. Either way, it shows incompetence. Try not taking my money, Justin Trudeau. Try not taking my money in the first place, and then telling me that I should be so grateful when you give a little bit of it back to me. We're going to take, how much is 18.7 million times 250? Let's find out together. 18 million, 700,000 times 250. That is $4.675 billion. So they can afford to give back $4.6 billion to the taxpayer, which means either they shouldn't have taken that $4.5 billion from us in the first place, or they are, bleeding us another $4.6 billion in the hole, and it's going to screw us in the long run and cause more inflation. Which is it, Justin Trudeau? Can you afford not to take our money? Or are you screwing us over again by printing money? They already say that the top inflation is bad, pretending as if they haven't been in power for 9 years. And then they say you're not actually feeling that it's going down. They cause the inflation. They're saying they're the ones causing it going down, even though it's cumulative, right? If you raise inflation by 5%, though, those prices are still going to be there. And if inflation goes down to 1%, the prices don't just go back down. It accumulates, right? So they can say that all they want unless they have some sort of negative inflation. It's all their fault. All the price increases are their fault. And they're saying, hey, we hear your complaints. We're going to, cut immigration a little bit, but not to the lengths that we should or to the lengths that it used to be. And hey, we're going to give a little bit of money back, which we could have just not taken from you in the first place. We're going to cut taxes a bit, for 2 months. We're going to let you live without us stealing your money for 2 months. And then, after you've gone into debt on your credit card because you're saying, hey, I'm saving 8%, then the tax will come back. So go and, spend a lot of money on prepared foods, please, because we all know those are cheap, right? When you get the prepared salads that are $8.99, we all know those are cheap. But you'll save a little tax on that. Go buy some beer. Go buy some beer and some video games without some tax on it. And everything will be fine. Here's $250. Shut up. This is what Justin Trudeau is doing. Here, let's watch the video of him talking about immigration, shall we?
Immigration. Let's talk about it. In the last 2 years, our population has grown really fast, like baby boom fast.
It didn't grow very fast. They brought in these people very fast.
And increasingly, bad actors like fake colleges and big chain corporations have been exploiting our immigration system for their own interests.
So we created these rules. We brought all these people in, and it's the school's fault. He says they're exploiting it. We created these rules. These schools followed our rules that were shit and we put in place, and it's their fault. He throws everyone under the bus for following his own rules. Everybody's wrong but him.
So we're doing something major. We're reducing the numbers of immigrants that will come to Canada for the next 3 years. Today, I'm going to let you in on what happened, where we made some mistakes, and why we're taking this big turn.
So if you watch the full video, which you cannot without vomiting, he says they didn't factor in the temporary work visas and the student visas into their immigration plan, which of course means either you're a moron or you're insane. To not realize that the number of people you're bringing in through regular immigration and the number of people you're bringing in through temporary work visas and student visas, to not factor those into how many people will be here either makes you a moron or a liar. So there's no two ways about that. And now he says the population's... we have no idea how the population got here. We have no idea how it exploded so much. So we're going to, just for you, we're going to bring it down. You see what they do here about everything? They take and they take and they take. They make terrible decisions. And when they're proven wrong, when their system and their legislation and their ideas fail, they say, hey, it wasn't our fault that we failed, but we got to change it. They admit no fault, but also at the same time say it needs to change somehow. Here's a little bit of money. Here's a little bit of what you actually want, but we're not going to do that, but vote for us.
Turn it up, Jordan.